Good afternoon and welcome to the City of Brooks regular council meeting of January the 12th, 2026. And we'll start off with you, Tabitha, coming up front and introducing your new staff member.
Through the chair to council. He's new, not exactly brand new. We've had him since November 2025, but this is Cole. He's a rec operator level 1. He comes to us from Medicine Hat. He would like to become a master ice technician and feels that the City of Brooks is a great place to help that happen, while still allowing him to stay close to home and family and friends. And we're super excited to have him and his skills and experience that he brings to our team.
Thank you.
So is there anything else that you want to say, Cole?
It's great to be here. I appreciate the opportunity for us. I'm hoping for a long term here.
And where did you come from?
Medicine Hat.
Medicine Hat, okay.
I originally was living up in Fort McMurray actually for 7 years. I was power engineering
Okay.
there. I mean, I've heard close to family, friends. Hobbies down here. I do a lot of hiking, fishing, hunting, like that on Cypress Hills. So it's very excited to be here.
Excellent. Welcome to the City of Brooks. Okay, it is now 4:32 and we'll call the meeting to order. You have the agenda in front of you. Any items to add or delete?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, there's no additions or deletions from administration.
Okay, thank you very much. Would somebody like to move the adoption of the agenda? So it's been moved by Councillor Falkenberg that the agenda be adopted. All those in favor? Carried. You've got the minutes from the special council meeting of December the 8th, 2025, the special council meeting of December 10th, 2025, and the regular council meeting of December 15th, 2025. And it has been moved by Councillor Johnson that the minutes from the special council meeting held on those dates be approved. All those in favor? Carried. Any business arising out of the minutes? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to correspondence and information. We have the update. Any updates from council conferences and or workshops? Okay. Notes you'll have in your minutes. You have the council committee December 9th, 2025, the Municipal Planning Commission MPC minutes December 3rd, 2025, Municipal Planning Commission minutes, Newell Housing Foundation minutes of December 2nd, 2025. And it's been moved by Councillor Phillipson that the following items of correspondence be received as information. Any questions? All those in favor? Carried. Administrative reports. Okay, we've got the Brooks Newell Regional Economic Development Report by Mitch Owasa. So go ahead, Mitch.
Great. Thank you for having me today. Through the chair to council, I'm here today to talk about the practice of economic development and how it relates to municipalities like the City of Brooks. And more specifically, how we as a Brooks Newell Region Economic Development Department work to carry out this function. What I hope to do is give you some background information on economic development, or ECDev, as we like to call it. We like to shorten things. In general terms, to help you prepare for our strategic planning session in February. With a better understanding of what economic development truly is, we'll be able to have a more effective and positive discussion as to what we want our ECDev efforts to deliver. Over the next few weeks, we'll provide you with more detailed information on what we've done this last year. We can share with you more statistics on the programs and services we've delivered and the specifics of some of the projects we have and continue to work on. However, today, I'd like to focus sort of on the big picture of what economic development is. You have my report, so I won't go through it line by line, but I do want to go over some of the points in the report and give you some food for thought. First off, I want to go over how Brooks Newell Region Economic Development, or BNRED, as you're probably going to see that acronym a lot over the next little while, has functioned in the past, and how it has recently changed, specifically for those of you who are new to council. In the past, I would report to the Joint Services Committee on the various activities of the Economic Development Department. That committee was made up of 3 council members from both the city and the County of Newell, as well as 1 member each from Bazzano, Dutchess, and Rosemary. The city and the county were the equal funding partners who provided all of the municipal funding. That funding for the Joint Services Committee not only covered the ECDEV operations and costs, it also funded a wide variety of functions that were deemed as shared intermunicipal initiatives. That included supporting libraries, museums, recreation, as well as costs related to things like doctor recruitment or memberships in groups like the Palliser Economic Partnership, or PEP. Again, an acronym you're likely to hear some more about. With the changes adopted last year, it was decided that the Economic Development Department should have its own structure, and that would allow it to focus on the day-to-day operational tasks it needs to carry out. The other intermunicipal initiatives are functions outside the ECDEV work plan. For example, funds provided to the museums are spent by the museums as they see fit. We look forward to you as council being able to have a dedicated function just related to ECDEV, and having all the councillors from across the region being able to have input in the strategic planning of BNRED at our session on February 11th. As a starting point, I'd like to encourage all of you, if you haven't already, to become familiar with the previous strategic plan which was over the span of 2022 to 2025. It's on our website, brooksregion.ca. Again, I encourage you to take a look at our website and see what information we have available. It provides a lot of good information on our core strategic focus areas, and it gives you the details of our action plan to carry out our strategy. Also, it'll be a great reference for you as we develop our new strategic plan in the coming weeks. And just as a reminder, if you are looking at our website or our regional profile, I noticed some of you have noted, we are working on updating the information that's on there and in those documents. And we'll finalize those changes after the strategic plan, because that will sort of guide some of the information we have out there. So the big question I want to ask and get you thinking about the answer is, what is economic development? I think in general, we think about it as growing business in our community, and basically that's what it is. It's helping current businesses grow and attracting new businesses that enrich our city and give us a higher quality of life. But there are a lot of considerations that go into how we do that. I've listed a number of the key areas of ECDEV in my report and highlighted some of the factors that determine how we operate. The primary function of economic development is business retention and expansion, or BRE also. Across Canada, BRE accounts for about 80% of new jobs created. So that means those businesses that are already in our community are the ones that will be hiring most of the new jobs, workers. To do that, they need to increase their sales, expand their locations, provide new services. So majority of our day-to-day tasks revolve around meeting our BRE objectives. That includes things like our business spotlights, beautification programs, help employers access training and funding programs, or connecting them with partners like Community Futures or Brooks Region Tourism, just to help them grow. However, BRE is not just about expansion, it's also about retention, which in a way is almost more important. Every year we see businesses in our community cease operation. Some after just a year or two, others after decades in business, and I know what that's all about. As nice as it is to attract a new business, it's more important and almost more valuable to retain the ones we have. It's easier to develop those businesses. Retaining those businesses doesn't mean it needs to stay with the same owners. So that's where our succession planning comes in. We work hard to provide a number of services to make sure businesses effectively transition from one owner to the next. But sometimes we don't find out about businesses closing until it's too late. It just happens. It's a difficult conversation to have with the business owner. If they are being faced with the decision to close down, it's not something they want to talk about. It's not something they want publicized. They don't want to put it out there. But it's one we will have all the time. Sometimes it's too late. It's going to happen. But even at that stage, you know, maybe we can help them with that transition, whether it's finding somebody else to come into their space, helping them maybe get rid of some of their inventory or whatever it is. So it's a tough one to do, but again, our supports are there. In the end, businesses come and go, but if there's anything we can do to help retain them, we will. One of the other major functions of economic development is business investment and attraction, or BI&A, another acronym for you. This is the fun stuff because the public sees it. And this is where we sort of get our positive feedback a lot of the time. Sometimes there's negative feedback when new businesses come in. It's helping to bring in new businesses, whether it's a new fast food restaurant or a $1 billion data center. These projects are the ones that will not only create jobs and diversify our economy, they have potential to the greatest potentials for us. They grow our municipal tax assessment and help pay for the services that the city needs to deliver. To fill our investment attraction role, we carry out a number of functions. Many of them fall under a marketing umbrella, whether it's branding, using social media and our website, creating marketing material like our Move to Brooks website, or videos. Again, another website we've created, and chances are a lot of you haven't seen it. So if you haven't, I'd suggest you go take a look at movetobrooks.ca. It is very much an outward-facing website. It's not necessarily as we market it through our social media. If you're seeing the ads for it, then we're kind of doing it wrong, because this is supposed to be going out to people in Toronto or Vancouver or Calgary and saying, hey, this is the opportunity. So Move to Brooks is another great example of sort of our investment and people attraction work. Other things we do, targeted advertising or just directly old-fashioned contacting investors, picking up the phone and giving people a call. The name of the game is exposure. It's really a role where I see myself as the salesman for the city and the county. So I want to give you some time to ask questions, so I don't want to go on too much longer. I just want to briefly touch on a few other points of the report. Beyond the business retention expansion duties and the investment attraction work we do, the other important areas we work on include workforce development, networking and partner relationships, supporting other departments like tourism, housing development, and regional opportunities like the CDC South out in the county. On top of that, we have an obligation to report and administer all of these functions in a responsible and efficient manner. In any given week, I may be talking to an investor from Poland or touring a new housing development, meeting a person with a rural entrepreneur applicant from China, filming a promotional video or reporting to council. It's what's so great about this job. The variety of work I get to do is fantastic. The amount of work never has me come into work on Monday morning and wonder what I'm going to do this week. There's a lot to do, and I'm fortunate because it's all about building our community. So I'm going to ask that you take this report as information, have a look at some of the resources I've mentioned, and I can follow up with some links there if you'd like. And prior to our strategic planning, if you can review the detailed information that we'll be sending you. Economic development is one area of municipal government that is all about growth. Given the relatively low expenditure compared to the potential benefits of an effective ECDEV department, we hope that council sees the value in the work we do, and we appreciate your support. I'll take your questions now. If you have any other questions afterwards, prior to our strategic planning, if you want to forward them through CEO Lagore, I'd be happy to respond. So, anyways. Thank
Any
you.
questions? Councillor Johnson.
Thank you. Through the chair to Mr. Iwasa. Thank you very much for your information. I did actually send back a lot of questions through Mr. CAO, and I'm sure you're going to be tabulating that information because, in my opinion, and it's I know you do a lot for just one person, but this is probably the most important department, I think, currently in Brooks. So I'm going to be taking a really hard look at this during strategic planning. And so I am going to be looking for a lot of those numbers and if we're getting what we need to get out of it. and if there's ways that we can improve on our economic development and strategic planning to get some, new quality industry into Brooks and hopefully, some good quality jobs out of it.
Sure.
I'm sure my fellow councillors agree. So I look forward to those numbers.
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Johnson, I do appreciate that you think it's one of the more important departments within the city. I agree. I think the potential of what we do is out there. I think the service that we provide is there, but as always, we can improve or increase that level of service. So look forward to providing you with more information as we move through this process.
Councillor Phillipson.
Through the chair to Mitch Iwasa. Do I have to say Director Iwasa?
No, I'm not a director.
Thank you for the report and well done. And economic development is pretty frustrating too, isn't it? You can work on something for years and then finally it happens. Reading your report, I had a couple of questions too, but one that I just wanted to ask now is, the sign might still be there, but a while ago I drove through town and there was an empty building and it had a sign on it, possible, and there were 2 or 3 businesses mentioned on that sign, and one of them was daycare. I thought, wow, what a good way to do it, to just give people a suggestion on where a building could be used for, because you might look for a building but never think of a different use. So was that you, or was that the realtor who did that?
Through the chair to Councillor Phillipson. No, that was not me who did that. We do, with a lot of the locations, especially commercially within the city, a lot of them are locally owned, local landlords, or private landlords who don't tend to use maybe traditional forms of advertising or marketing their properties, i.e. Real estate agents. So a lot of them aren't publicly shared. So something like a sign on the property, that's a great way of marketing to the people that drive by. There's a much larger audience out there. We do reach out to landlords to let them know about our site selector tool on our website. If you want to go visit that, it's actually created by the Alberta government. It allows properties that are listed to be shown as available in our region, but also privately. If a private business wants to go in there and doesn't want to have an MLS listing, they can also advertise and market their business. So it's a great tool which we link through our website, and we can, again, as site selectors and as potential users come forward, they can access that information. But yeah, there's a variety of ways to market properties, and we do sort of keep a knowledge base of what's available, and are available to reach out to private landowners and building owners within the city. Often through our investment attraction work, we do get inquiries about property, and especially if they're from outside the region, they might not be aware of certain warehouses or what's available. So again, we can lead them to that either through our site selector tools or direct contact with landlords. We do it all the time.
Thank you very much. Councillor Nesbitt.
Through the chair to Mitch Iwasa. Hi. And thank you very much again for your report. That was excellent. The work has been phenomenal. Like, we've got a lot of room for improvements in every area, of course, because there's lots of learning as we go, right? I was wondering about, like, I did take a look at your move to brooks.ca. I loved it. Like, there was a lot of good information really connected to, I would think, the people that do get to look at that site. Something comes across the screen, and is it "you belong here"? Is that the term that you've got? You belong here?
Yeah, I believe that's
before
one
your
of them.
segments
Yep.
each start.
Yep.
I think, like, when you send it out to across the country, I think the term "you belong here" would catch them almost faster, in my own personal perspective, faster than move to Brooks, just as a suggestion. And I know we're going to have lots of conversations going forward about things like our land development processes, land availability, all those kinds of things, and I'm looking forward to it. I know the rest of the council are too. So thank you.
Great. Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Nesbitt. Move to Brooks, and as with all our assets are developed, thoughtfully and with not just within our department, we do have outside entities that will work with us on a marketing standpoint. As with everything, whether it's website domain names or whatever else, once we have those sort of branded in place, because of the traffic that they've created and sort of the traffic that they will attract, we tend to want to keep those kind of brands or websites in place rather than switch it and then make it that we have to sort of rebuild that audience. But certainly within the actual web page and that we can certainly look at modifying it.
It is just so catchy. You belong here.
Yeah.
Like that grabs you right away. Yes, you do belong here. So thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, any further questions? Councillor Regner.
I too like the website. I was unaware of it until I got my reading, and I did look through it. One of the questions I had was, and I looked at the bottom of it, how often is this updated? It doesn't have a date or a year that this was constructed.
Yeah, so through the chair to Councillor Regner, the original website, I might have to defer to Director Tiffin on this, was developed prior to my arrival here 4.5 years ago. It is updated. Certain items are updated on a continual basis, but the majority of it was created and in play. We did sort of a overhaul a couple years ago of some of the information. We also have added some links through a group that we work with that does some of the statistical updates. But we do understand that it's been several years since it's had a good, solid refresh. The initial production of this website and the branding around it was quite expensive. And so a total revision of a website can be done, but again, at a certain expense. But we will be looking at doing a fairly extensive sort of in-house revision and updating of the information here over the next few months. Yep.
No, the only thing that kind of stuck out to me was the $979 a month is the average rent in Brooks. I didn't know if that was 2020 or
Yeah,
2025.
I don't know if you can't. I'm not sure if it's linked there. There's some of the statistics, especially in our regional profile. They either come from Stats Canada. So if they are Stats Canada, the last census being, of course, 2021, it's getting to be a little bit dated. Some of the housing information comes from CMHC, which is updated. So we could probably be taking a look at updating that information.
All right. No, like I said, I think it's great. I just was curious on how often it is updated.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
thank you.
so it depends on what it is. We have news articles, blogs, event type information, which is updated on an ongoing basis.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, thank you very much, and we look forward to the strategic planning sessions that are coming up here forthwith. So that will be very exciting.
Thank you.
So it has been moved by Councillor Regner that the Brooks Newell Region Economic Development Report be accepted as information. All those in favor? Carried. Next item is business land sale 424 Meadowbrook Drive East. And this will be presented by Director Tiffin.
Yes, thank you. Through the chair to mayor and council, staff has received a offer to purchase a city-owned lot located at 424 Meadowbrook Drive East. The list price for this lot is $59,670, and an initial offer was reviewed by council in closed session on December 1st, 2025. Following that discussion, a counter offer was presented from council and then accepted by the buyer. At this time, staff is recommending that council approve the land sale of 424 Meadowbrook Drive East for the amount discussed in closed session.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Okay. Seeing none, it's been moved by Councillor Nesbitt that council approve the land sale of 424 Meadowbrook Drive East, Lot 7, Block 4, Plan 0912797 for the amount discussed in the closed session. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. The next item, planning and permitting application fee schedule. I take it that that is going to be Bailey.
Thank you. Through the chair to mayor and council. As you probably recall, on December 15th, we recently approved and updated the 2026 rates and fee schedule. But then, of course, on December 17th, we were notified by ORSC that the subdivision application fees were being amended. Therefore, we are bringing forward the proposed changes to be adopted in the new January planning and fee schedule, which is retroactive to January 1st, 2026. So the recommendation is that council approve the amended rates and fee schedule. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Councillor? No, Councillor Johnson. She had her hand up first. But Councillor Phillipson, you can go second.
Councillor Phillipson, maybe we'll have the same question. Through the chair to Ms. Boulay. I did request, and I didn't see a response, so I apologize. I wanted a breakdown of which specific fees were being changed and what they were prior to, just to refresh my memory.
You betcha. So the I guess the fees prior to January 1st, 2026 being proposed, it's just the subdivision portion on the rates and fees schedule. So it's on what page is that of the rates and fees schedule? Under planning applications on the rates and fees schedule. So anything having to do with a subdivision. So you can see that previously it was $750 for a subdivision application plus $350 per new lot created, and that's being updated to $800 for a subdivision application and $400 per new lot being created. The subdivision time extension requests are being updated. So the first request was $350, and now it's updated to $375. Second extension request was $450, and now it's updated to $475. The third request was $550, and now it's updated to $575. The endorsement fee per lot was $220, and now it's being updated to $250 per lot. The recirculation fee is $400, and that's being updated on the 2026. It was applicable previously, but I don't know if it was actually in the schedule before that. But I think it was, I want to say probably $350 through ORSC. And then the condominium application fee remains $40 per unit.
So through the chair to Ms. Boulay,
Yes.
to confirm further to what Councillor Phillipson was saying, it's only specific to those rates that ORSC is raising. There's nothing else on this form that has changed.
No, you're right.
Thank you.
Did that answer the question, Councillor Phillipson, or do you have another question?
Oh, I have another question.
Okay, go ahead.
And it's maybe a silly question. Per lot endorsement fee, what is that?
I can, through the chair to Councillor Phillipson. So if somebody takes a quarter section and they divide it into 8 lots, you have to pay, the first lot is covered under the subdivision application, and then every additional lot after that has a per lot endorsement fee. So in order for that title to be endorsed.
So it's separate though from the per lot application fee. The endorsement fee is a separate per lot charge, and I think it has to do with, it's the circulation that they have to do in relation to that application. And that's straight from ORSC. I'm just trying to pull up their website for their description for the endorsement fee. But
it's okay, Bailey. I can look it up too. It's fine.
Okay.
I was just wondering about all these lot fees, and then there was an endorsement fee, and I thought, well, what's that?
Okay. Counselor Nesbitt, question?
Oh, I thought I hit that, sorry. What would be the average cost that a developer would have to pay on a subdivision? Just by your experience so far, have you got any idea of what that might be?
It's difficult because it's dependent
Everyone's
entirely
different.
on how many new lots are being created.
Okay.
So a lot of the subdivisions we've seen have been city subdivisions, and it's just to create more clear titles. Usually yeah, that's a hard one. About
Okay.
$1,500. Usually the subdivisions we're seeing right now haven't been to create a lot of lots, but I do think we have some coming up that are going to be quite extensive, so.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. Thank you.
Are there any further questions? Okay, seeing none, it has been moved by Councillor Nesbitt. The council approved the amended 2026 rates and fee schedules, incorporating the updated Orsk Oldman River Regional Services Corporation subdivision fees retroactive to January 1st, 2026. All those in favor? Carried. Development Permit Application 26D1. Director Tiffin, is that?
Nope.
Back to Bailey?
Back to me, thank you. Through the Chair to Mayor and Council. So we've received a development permit application requesting a change of use or change of occupancy within a building that's currently, well, previously had been designated as an entertainment facility, but it's no longer being utilized as an entertainment facility. So the applicant wants to change the use of the building so that they can occupy the 2,000 square foot portion of the building to support its operations, which is manufacturing residential cabinets and apparel, as well as storing their construction-related materials. The lot is currently zoned direct control, which means that all applications have to come forward to council to act as the development authority on them. And the use, however, does fall within the scope of light manufacturing. And if you look at the surrounding parcels in their zoning districts, they're all zoned either industrial general or industrial heavy. So when you're looking at an application zone direct control that has very little parameters on the approvals for use-specific operations, usually you would look at the surrounding zoning districts for what would be appropriate for the site. And in this case, the use and that of light manufacturing and the activities being proposed on the site are very in line with a permitted use under an industrial general or an industrial heavy zoning district. Therefore, the recommendation is that the development permit 26D1 be approved with the conditions listed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Johnson.
Thank you. Through the chair to Ms. Boulay. This parcel I'm quite familiar with. Wasn't it about 10 or 15 years ago originally zoned for what we're asking for again? And it, you know, it was like a bouncy house, something, and that was put down 10 years ago, I think. Why is it taking so long for us to rezone it? Has nothing been in that building for 10 years?
That's a really good question, and I'll highlight the fact that there is a big difference between zoning and a change of use. So it's zone direct control, and it has been zone direct control even when it was being used as an entertainment facility, which is the bouncy castle use that you're referring to. Change of use is through a development permitting process, and that would happen every time an occupant proposes a new use for a building. So it was as a direct control zoned parcel, changed, I guess the development permit came forward to council at that time, 10 or 15 years ago, for a change of use application, and it was approved. When the building ceased operation as use for an entertainment facility, a new development permit would be required when a new use was coming into the building. So it's not that the use would automatically revert back to the prior use once the current use is discontinued. A new application for a new use is required every time a business or occupant changes.
No, I guess what I'm asking is this building not been used in 10 years?
According to our records, we haven't had a change of occupancy application since that use. Whether or not it's been utilized, I can't say for sure.
Okay. Councillor Nesbitt.
Through the chair to our development officer, development control officer, Ms. Boulay. So I noted that they're making apparel in there. Do you think that they will do any sales from their front shop at all? Were they talking about that at all?
That isn't something that had been discussed, was whether or not they would have on-site sales. However, I do believe that they would be allowed to do that under their current use that they have applied for. I think in the definition of light manufacturing, it would be listed as an approved subordinate use. So.
Councillor Falkenberg.
Through the chair to Ms. Boulay. I'm just curious, just being new to all this, in the recommendation, line 3, the property owner developer is to repair or reinstate or pay for the repair or reinstatement to original condition. Is that just standard? Okay. Yeah, I was just curious if there was actually something that had been changed, but that's all. That's all I really wanted to know.
Yeah, just to clarify that on that a little bit further, because I think it's a good point to bring up. That is a very standard condition that you're going to see on most, if not all, of our development permits that we issue. And that just protects the city in the case that due to a change of occupancy, renovation, anything like that, if any work is carried out on the facility that does in fact municipal infrastructure, it means that they would have to notify us beforehand and or arrange for it to be corrected.
Okay, are there any other questions? Okay. Seeing none, it has been moved by Councillor Falkenberg that council approves development permit application 26D1 for a change of use from entertainment facility to light manufacturing with the following conditions. Number 1, development to conform to the application, including any plans and drawings deemed complete by the development officer on January 6, 2026, and to the land use bylaw 1412 unless otherwise approved by the development authority. Development must be completed in its entirety in accordance with approved plans and conditions. Any revisions to the approved plans must be submitted for approval to the development authority. Number 2, all relevant safety code permits, building, electrical, gas, plumbing, must be obtained from an accredited agency pursuant to the Safety Codes Act. A copy of all final inspections indicating compliance must be filed with the city immediately following receipt of the same. Number 3, the property owner developer is to repair or reinstate or pay for the repair or reinstatement to original condition of any city-owned infrastructure, including but not limited to street furniture, curbing, sidewalk, boulevard landscaping, and tree planting that may be damaged or destroyed or otherwise harmed by development and or building operations on the site. All repair or reinstatement work must be completed by a city-approved contractor. The property owner developer must notify the city if they are going to have to destroy or replace any city-owned infrastructure. The applicant is required to provide garbage collection facilities to the satisfaction of the Public Works Department. 5, the applicant shall meet the requirements of the Land Use Bylaw 1412, Section 88, Industrial Performance Standards. Number 6, the applicant shall meet the requirements of the Alberta Fire Code. Number 7, the applicant is to obtain a business license from the City of Brooks. Number 8, the applicant shall meet all and any provincial or federal regulations that apply. And I'm not going to repeat all that. Please don't have anybody. Okay. Movement to carry it. All in favor? Thank you very much. And one of the things we did talk about during campaigns, I think almost everybody talked about some red tape reduction. So Bailey, or maybe Lisa, do you want to talk about what's going on with the permit codes for building, electrical, and gas and plumbing that's coming up because we are going to be shut down for a few days?
Yes, I would love to. So our accreditation date has officially been determined for January 26th, and that means that as of January 26th, you'll be able to apply for all of your safety code permits in one place. We can accept building, gas, plumbing, and electrical permits. However, with that being said, there is a blackout period that takes effect on January 16th, and that's enables us to efficiently do the transition of authority from the Alberta Safety Codes Council to the City of Brooks for all of the outstanding permits that we have to transition that are kind of underway while we're taking over the new accreditation. So from January 16th to the 26th, we will have a bit of a temporary pause in permit acceptance. So you won't be able to apply for permits during those dates, but on the 26th, we'll be really happy to accept your permits and help you out with that process.
And this will save time, right?
Yes, it'll make it a one-stop shop. It's like a concierge service. Rather than having to deal with multiple agencies for one project, you'll be able to just come to City Hall and submit all your applications through us. That way, it's instead of it being maybe 4 or 5 different phone calls to different agencies, you can just contact one.
Excellent. Thank you very much. The next item is portable sign permit application for a major variance. Councillor Regner?
As council's aware, I own a portable sign company, so although this is not my sign, I will recuse myself and step out of the room for a little bit.
Okay, thank you very much. You gonna shut the door over there? Okay, go ahead, Ms. Boulay.
Thank you. So the City of Brooks has received a portable sign permit application, and the proposal is that they want to place a portable advertising sign on a landscaped city-owned boulevard, and it's fronting the parcel located at 1216 2nd Street West. So in reviewing the application against the portable sign bylaw, it doesn't comply with the established regulations. The portable sign bylaw states that signs are prohibited on city-owned property or landscaped boulevards. There are circumstances where minor variances can be granted by the Development Authority for city-owned property that's leased to a private business, and that's typically applied to like parking lot areas, so not landscaped city boulevards. So the condition of the portable sign bylaw still holds true in this scenario where this sign would be considered prohibited. However, any request outside of a minor variance is considered a major variance request under the portable sign bylaw, and that means that it has to come to council for consideration. So the applicant gave their reasons for the request to have the portable sign on the boulevard. In the RFD in front of you, it does also state the operational considerations to be given to the sign request. And with that being taken into account, the recommendation before you is that council deny the major variance request and portable sign permit application number 42. But I'll be happy to take any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions? Councillor Johnson.
Hi. Through the chair to Ms. Boulay again. I apologize. I did drive by this actual boulevard, and correct me if I have my location wrong, but when I drove by, I did see a portable sign. I also saw a permanent sign. So I did send a question back this yesterday around the weekend, asking if this is a 6-month or a 1-year request, and if so, why is it any different than the permanent sign or the temporary sign currently there?
For sure. So the portable sign bylaw stipulates that permits are issued on an annual basis. So this request would be an annual permit sign, but then permits that are in place are eligible for renewal from year to year, and renewal for portable sign permits doesn't require reapplication. It just requires that you pay the annual renewal fee. So with that being said, council does have the authority to lay out conditions on a permit approval. Those conditions could include something like a time limit, making it a temporary permit, or even that this permit would not be eligible for re-renewal or for renewal. To address the portable sign currently on that boulevard, it was advertising something under the portable sign bylaw, which would have been considered permitted because I think it was an event that would have been associated with the city or was put on by the city. However, that sign should not be there anymore. It should have been removed after the event, and it's something that we're still working on enforcement related issues with to try to get it removed in a timely manner. That's another reason behind the variance, or the recommendation too, is that you can absolutely impose those conditions on a portable sign permit, but we do keep in mind that then that brings in enforcement and compliance.
So to follow up with that, so we're not going to allow portables, but we're going to allow a permanent sign. I'm not understanding how that's like. So are we hypothetically, if this person wants to put a permanent sign in, we would be considering that?
So portable signs are governed under a separate bylaw from permanent signs. Portable signs have their own bylaw. Permanent signs are dealt with under the land use bylaw. I can't be certain for the permanent signs that are on that location what permitting processes were followed in order to have them in place. Because it's on city-owned property, it's very likely that it would have had to have been a decision that was authorized by or approved by city council at the time. But forgive me, I don't have those files in front of me. But I will say it's governed differently.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Falkenberg.
I see an absolute need for this business to have a sign. Being business friendly community, I would definitely like to somehow help. I think we need to discuss this a little further than just saying yes or no. Have they requested a permanent sign?
No, they have not.
I personally would like to, again, this is really a tough one because we do not want to set precedents, but I would like to discuss somehow giving them a 6-month window to have a sign there. This is a new dental office and it's absolutely something our community needs. And yeah, I'm not sure what else to say, but.
So are you asking us to make an amendment to the motion then, to allow 6 months?
Yes.
Okay. Councillor Phillipson.
That's what I was thinking about too. If there are other signs, then our arguments that Public Works has trouble with grass and snow removal, I mean, it's a problem already then. So if we could do it 6 months and then see if we want to renew it, or if they want to renew it, maybe 6 months is enough for them.
Councillor Johnson?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I see Mr. Lagore writing. Can we say we will relook at it for 6 months, like if they need to renew it? I agree with the 6 months, but I want that opportunity to revisit if they want to reapply. Put in there.
Thank you very much. Councillor Nesbitt.
I would agree somewhat to the idea. Absolutely, I agree that we need to support our businesses, particularly our new ones. We have other avenues of advertising new business, and that's our newspaper and our radio stations like the rest of us do. But the problem that I have with even agreeing to this sign is the fact that our boulevards, we've talked about cleaning up our act, basically, throughout our community. We start putting up those kind of signs on our boulevards, particularly the ones with the nice trees and everything. It detracts. It doesn't look great. I'm sorry, I wouldn't support the 6 months. That's my feeling on this. I feel like we have a precedent set in our sign bylaws and we should be following them. If not, we have no reason to have a sign bylaw. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So anybody else with a question or a comment? Go right ahead, Councillor Johnson.
Okay, so I'm hearing what Councillor Nesbitt is saying. So I guess my question is, when we have a sign variance like this, we're not, like, do they send you a mock-up of this sign? Like, we're not talking sandwich boards or, yeah, it's fairly clean and nice. And if it's a temporary one, just to promote a business, right? And then take down, we're already talking about removing one sign. We already have 2 on there. What's one that's our, trade-off?
Who's first?
I don't know.
Okay, Councillor Nesbitt.
So I think that I do agree in some respects, except that we allow this sign. There's a lot of other businesses along there that might say, well, you just put a sign up there temporarily for this gentleman. I'd like my business promoted on that boulevard too. We're going to see it evolve into something that could go out of control. So let's think about that side too, please.
Councillor Falkenberg.
My biggest issue is that this location does not have a permanent sign. They don't have, again, this is the landlord. I don't know if I should speak on this, but I know the landlord. I'm not sure if there was any request to put a permanent sign at any point, but I know this area was redeveloped at some point that building was built up with multiple locations underneath, with one major trucking company in the back. It no longer has that trucking company, so it's being redeveloped with multiple smaller businesses. I see a need for that location to have a permanent sign. Again, I feel for this business with the trees blocking the building. It's hard to see it, or it's hard to see that there's even a new business in there. Again, the precedence setting is conflicting for me. So I don't know what to say. That's why I would like to have further discussion on it. Anyways, thank you.
Councillor Johnson.
What about the vacant lot across the road and have a temporary sign on the vacant lot? Right? Like wherever it's got an arrow, so why don't we have it in the vacant lot instead of on the boulevard? So that would help with the bylaw issues. It would help with but they would have to reach out to the vacant lot or whoever's on there and ask for permission, but maybe that's an opportunity.
CAO Legore.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Mayor and Council, our portable sign policy will be reviewed within the next 2 or 3 months here, as quick as we can get the report all put together, and we'll bring in that forward. Council does have the authority to approve a one-off if you want to. Recommendation is from administration that we're following the policy that is in place. The one sign that is there that should not be there, we've been trying since the spring to get it removed. We have now notified the sign rental company, either move the sign or lose it. It will be taken to the dump. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Are you having a question, or are you just putting up your
That
hand?
just goes back to my main point, that if we have 2 on there now, and we're gonna get 1 on, what's another one for 6 months that we've approved as a one-off until we can figure something out? Especially if we're gonna look at the bylaw.
I like the.
Put your thing on. Councillor Nesbitt.
I would consider them having their sign in that empty lot. I think that's an excellent idea. That's not going to conflict. And I'm just more concerned that some of the other businesses, like the hairdressers and other property owners there now, are going to come forward. Well, you've got these on there. Let's put mine on. Like, we are going to see it roll. And I'd rather not on our nicely manicured boulevards.
I don't disagree, but I don't know who owns that lot, so I don't want to speak for them. Is that
believe
city
Telus
owned?
does. I believe Telus does.
CAO Legore.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, council needs to deal with the application that's before them, not application on another site that has not been applied for. Thank you.
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're doing the amended motion for where the sign is going to be placed. Now you have the knowledge that the other one is going to be gone. So you have that knowledge and you know where the building is located. Okay? Councillor
What's her name?
Phillipson?
To Councillor Valkenburg, would you consider 3 months? So then we're sticking to like the winter months, and if the grass mowing and the other sign might be gone by then, so 3 months?
I would consider 3 months. I don't have a problem with 6 months either, though. I think it's more to see if we can get everybody on board. But yeah.
CEO Legore?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, this is just a new motion. It's not an amending motion because you do not have a motion on the floor at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so the motion then, moved by Councillor Falkenberg, unless there's any other questions, comments? None? Is for council to approve the placement of a portable sign for a period of 3 months as per the portable sign permit application number 42. I'll read that again. Moved by council to approve the placement of a portable sign for a period of 3 months as per the portable sign permit application number 42. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And I guess somebody should go out the door and invite Councillor Regner back in. Okay, go ahead.
I was just wondering if, when we send the letter to this applicant, if we could inform them why, the reason why we did 3 months.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We're looking at bylaw number 25-26, the cemetery bylaw. And that is Amy Fontura.
Thank you. Through the chair to mayor and council. The first and second reading of this bylaw was given at the December 15th council meeting. I'll just review quickly a few changes as this has been presented in the past. There are some new burial options. Most fees are being increased 20% each year over the next 5 years. Other fees are being increased 3% each year beginning next year, so 2027. And just a note that the adult definition in the bylaw has now been changed to align with the definition of child, which was made at a previous meeting. And further discussion regarding the expansion plans of the cemetery will be discussed in the future, either strategic planning or a future meeting. Therefore, administration is recommending the bylaw receive third reading.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Any comments? Okay. Seeing none, it has been moved by Councillor Johnson that bylaw number 2526, being a bylaw of the City of Brooks in the province of Alberta, to provide for the control, regulation, operation, and maintenance of the City of Brooks Cemetery, be read a third time and adopted. All those in favor? Those opposed? Carried. We will now move into the closed session. So it's been moved by Councillor Regner that council close the meeting to the public for agenda item 9A, land matter as per section 19 of the ATIA at 5:28 p.m. All those in favor? Carried.